everyone, and welcome to Miss Temple's apartment. Yay! Today is Interview Tuesday, and boy, do I have a special guest for you. His name is Keith Greenbaum, and he is a commercial photographer. I can't wait for you to see. I hope you enjoy. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Miss Temple's apartment. Yay! Today is Interview Tuesday, and I have my friend Keith Greenbaum.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so Keith, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Keith Greenbaum. I work as a commercial photographer, and on the side, I do my own artwork, whether it's drawing and painting, but primarily photo and video. I've got a business to run, but the way I see it, that can't be an option unless I'm making art on my own, outside of commercial work. And yeah.
Can you explain what commercial work means?
Commercial work is defined by a client asking me for something that they need to produce either to sell a product or service, in a way that I can present their product in the light that they would like it to be perceived in.
Cool, cool. Okay, so how did you get into photography? Like, did you always know that you wanted to be a photographer?
No, definitely not. My mom is a painter. My sister's a painter. My dad fixed computers, Macs, and he did Photoshop and really elementary, not elementary, but rudimentary, kind of like Photoshop 1.
Yeah, like the simple
Putting
stuff.
people's faces on our cat on people's faces, stuff like that. And I was given a camera when I was like 10, and I went into the dark room and I shot a few rolls. I did a course at the Westchester County Center.
Oh yeah, I used to take those classes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it didn't jive with me. I didn't love it at the time. I don't know. I enjoyed taking some photos, but the process just didn't move me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until really high school when I found a passion and just started drawing every single day. And I was like, I gotta make a portfolio. I gotta put this together. And I actually took a year to go to community college, figure it out. And after that, I had a strong enough portfolio, and I got into the Conservatory of Arts at Purchase College.
Nice.
And at Purchase College, I was a printmaker.
Oh, I went to printmaking too.
Yeah, I love printmaking, silkscreen, intaglio.
Yeah.
Really awesome, and process-based, which is interesting because it didn't work for me with photography at first.
Yeah.
But I saw that a lot of friends and family members that had graduated from art school didn't actually end up pursuing the arts. And I felt that if I were to study another passion of mine, which was business, that maybe that would push me further into the arts. And it really did. I mean,
Yeah.
I ended up going to business school, and I minored in art. And that's where I found the photo services. I joined a club where I got full access to cameras, which I didn't have the money to buy. I couldn't afford any of it. And I would just like cover events on campus.
Yeah.
But then I had a friend who was assisting a photographer in New York City. His name's Tommy Evans. You probably know him. And he was like, my wife's going to have a baby. I don't want to be in New York City anymore. Do you want this job? And I'd been living in Albany at the time, working at an internship. And I literally left my lease like that week. I was like, I know that this is the right move. I know I can make something. It was just like that gut feeling. And I just like went for it.
Pursuing your dreams in art.
I didn't even know what my dreams were. I just had this feeling that like, if I get the opportunity to assist somebody who's like established themselves in the arts, that I could find some route through that. And I worked there for 3 years. I worked at first for a Metro card and lunch. And then I was told that my work was invaluable because I came in as early as I could and I left as late as I could. And I stayed there for 3 years until I got too busy with my own work.
That's awesome. So like now you're doing this full time, and that's like a miracle story, like you don't know what you want, and then wow, I found it, and you found your passion. That's amazing. So
yeah.
So like what inspires you as an artist, and like some favorite photographers, maybe?
Yeah, I think that the general theme of what inspires me is just being in nature. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like any kind of shapes or forms or colors that we see around us are, in my mind, are informed by nature.
Yeah.
And we can only do our best to replicate it, but never come close, really.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? And so, like, for me, the most inspiring thing to do is go on a walk or a run in nature. If I'm ever really just feeling out of it, uninspired,
Mhm.
I just go for a run, and usually I come back with a new motivation.
Yeah, new thought process probably. Wow.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, so I noticed that you're at your studio. Do you want to show us around maybe? And if you have
Sure.
any work that you
So
want to show us as well?
yeah, sure. So I will say, in the current state of affairs, this unprecedented time, I feel really lucky to have the ability to work.
Yeah.
I have a studio in Brooklyn, which I can't really access right now.
Mm,
In a pinch, I could shoot there, but I was able to bring most of my equipment home
that's pretty
before things got too crazy. And we have an 800 square foot commercial space that we had planned on renting, which I'm now using as my studio. And I feel really lucky. I don't have to commute, so I'm able to offer, contact-free, liability-free photography for clients.
excellent.
But I will say this, just, because I feel so lucky to work right now. There are a lot of people that aren't, and I'm doing whatever I can to donate. There are leveler options there. I heard that Google is doing a 200% matching drive. I think that's today. So doing whatever I can, buying prints from friends, other artists. Like if we can, we should. So just
Yeah.
want to say that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is my home studio. I've got a little setup here. You can see my tripod. I
Yeah.
got some video lights set up too, so we could have this cleaned up. And I have a little, you can even see we rescued this sign from the town. It's kind of covered right now.
Yeah.
Original Village of Irvington sign.
Yeah.
And the space goes back a little bit. Can't see too much.
Yeah, I can
But I got a nice bit of daylight in here. I've got to clean it up
space.
a bit. And then I wanted to show you guys, just for your students and anyone interested,
Yeah.
a little bit about how flexible you can be with digital photography. So I've got one light here,
Yep.
another light here,
Yep.
and on the table, I put some Prismacolor markers, some of my favorite markers. I love Prismacolors. Those are what I started drawing with. And so that camera is connected. See, the red cable goes to the light, and the orange cable that comes to my computer.
Oh, wow.
And I have this remote, which is pretty amazing. So I can stand 30, 50, 100 feet away from the camera and takes a photo for me. And then it shows up there.
That's amazing. It's like the speed of light.
Literally.
Literally.
So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. And I think that's kind of an interesting concept for someone that's exploring the arts, and the fact that you can, with digital, there's just so many options and so many new ways to work.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have any work on hand that you would like to show us?
So I have a little bit of a mix. I can show you, when I was taking classes at the art workshop, I was doing a lot of like traditional fine art.
Yeah.
And I've got like some portrait drawings I was doing.
I'm like impressed. This
So
is
these
amazing.
are like 14-hour drawings. I've got one more. I don't have my whole portfolio here.
Well, that's okay.
But here's another one.
Wow, Keith, this is beautiful.
But it's not exactly the kind of work I wanted to pursue or ended up pursuing.
I get it.
But it refines the connection between your head and your hand. And that's what I was saying earlier to Lauren, who's been drawing more, is that I think that's what you're training when you draw. You're training that connection. And and then I have a little sample of some of my commercial work, some of my client work.
Sure.
Oh no. It's a little dusty down here. I actually just got a little bit of dust on here. I'm gonna have to reprint this. It was
Uh-oh.
a personal project I was working on. And
Wow.
I think an interesting thing about this is we're talking about, the forms and shapes of nature that
100%.
really that we try to replicate. And I think that's a good example of me trying to do it and
Yep.
translating it through materials that aren't quite always natural. That was from a rubber shop in Soho.
Okay.
I kind of had like an interesting day where I felt just like kind of like creative block and I didn't know what to do. So I just went on a walk with my camera and walked through Soho, found this rubber shop, and was like,
Yeah.
"Can I go through your trash and find interesting stuff?" And they were like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I found that stuff and
I
went home.
love that. I love that, like,
Yeah,
with photography and like it's a sculpt. You can make a sculpture and then photograph it, and it
yeah,
becomes something else. It's really a beautiful way of showing your artistic views. I wish I was better at photography, actually.
yeah. Well, I think everything. I used to run a lot, and I relate everything to running, where it's like doesn't matter how fast you are.
Yeah.
If you run every day, you're going to get faster, and I think it's the same thing with photography or any of the arts. Is like if you draw every day, you'll get better at drawing. If it's what you put your time and effort into.
Yeah, and that's what I tell my friends all the time. They know that. So Keith, I want to thank you so much for letting me interview you today. I also want to say that if my friends have any questions for you, can I send them to you? Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
And if I'll put it at the bottom of the comments on YouTube,
Hmm.
so that I'll put your email. Is that okay?
Sure. I think it'd be great if you could put my email, website, Instagram, and then also,
Sure.
I mean, if we could even put a couple links of places to donate for the arts, that would be great.
Great plan. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. What is your Instagram handle, just so they can hear it?
Yeah, it's at Keith Greenbaum Studio.
Great.
My
Okay.
full
So
name studio.
I will send them your way. And if I hope that you had a good time. Keith, again, I want to thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. See you later.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed watching my interview with Keith Greenbaum. He's so cool, right? If you want to reach out to Keith, you can visit his website, Instagram, or email him. And if you're interested in donating to any of the causes that Keith talked about, here are some of the websites. Thanks so much for visiting and hanging out for Interview Tuesday. Can't wait till next Tuesday when I will be interviewing Laurel Greenfield. Ooh, see you later.